matchup.
We're expecting every seat inside the Target Center to be filled tomorrow in a national championship game between two of the sport's dominant programs right now. South Carolina is going for its second ever national title, while UConn is going for its 12th. Now, the game will feature two of the best women's college basketball players, Paige Beckers for Connecticut and Aaliyah Boston for the Gamecocks. Now, South Carolina and UConn have already played once this season. That was back in November when the Gamecocks pulled away in the fourth quarter en route to a 16-point win.
I honestly feel like it does help us in a way because it gives us a chance to actually know personnel, to be able to play them before we kind of got an understanding of what their plays are like, who they want to run through, little things like that. So I think definitely playing the team more than once is good, especially when it comes to when it's a moment like this.
I think it definitely helps, but I also do think that it comes back to just every game is different. This is a national championship, so it's going to be a tough game. I mean, it won't be like the other games.
Now, tip-off for the national championship game is scheduled for 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. Now, coming up tonight on the 10 o'clock news, we'll take a look at some of the fun activities going on around Minneapolis today, and we'll talk with some fans on how they're feeling ahead of tomorrow night's game. For now, reporting in Minneapolis, Zach Berlutsky for Fox Carolina News.
Zach, thank you. Some exciting stuff there. I know a lot of
Indeed.
people are looking forward to that. We're going to hear more about that at 10 o'clock. But first, we want to get a look at your forecast. I was out and about at Easley's Spring Fest Festival.
And seeing that?
Yeah,
All
and
right.
it was gorgeous when we first started, and then the clouds kind of came in, overcast a little bit.
It was, yeah, sunny start and the clouds rolled in, and it stayed dry. You know, it's still
Thankfully.
possible we could see a few sprinkles this evening, Shale, but all in all, skies will start to clear out as we go through the overnight hours. Looking outside right now, you can see some of the blue skies re-emerging after they went away for a few hours today. Here's our Harley-Davidson cam. You can see the overcast skies and also some of that blue showing up. So eventually, we will start to clear things out as we go into this evening, setting us up for another chilly night. And it was a cool day, only 61 in Greenville and Spartanburg, 58 in Clemson, 61 in Anderson, Greenwood 63, and cooler 50s in the mountains. It felt cooler, especially with that cloud cover. And temperatures right now, primarily 50s and 60s across the upstate. 59 Waynesville, Asheville 56, and Greenville right now at 61. And tomorrow, the sunshine returns for your Sunday. So I'm forecasting a high of 72 with lots of sun, normally around 70 for the high. And the mountains will be on the cool side. I'm forecasting 63, normally around 65. Here's Fox Radar 3D, visible satellites showing those mid to high level clouds. The bark is worse than the bite here with the radar. It looks like steady rain, but maybe a stray sprinkle the next hour or so, and then we're in the clear. The heavier rain is across the Florida Peninsula with a stationary front. And here's high pressure back to the west. This is Sunday's weather for the upstate as that high starts to slide in. So here's Futurecast this evening showing the clouds beginning to clear out, and it's going to be mainly clear through the overnight hours, and it's going to be chilly once again. By Sunday morning, maybe a few clouds across the mountains, but Sunday is going to be a gorgeous day. Just make sure you bundle up on the way to church or out the door in the morning. And then by the afternoon, look at all the sunshine. We're in good shape. Mainly clear as we go into Sunday night. And then as we go into Monday, we'll start to see the clouds increasing a little more. And that's ahead of our next change. Now, we are going to be looking at rain building into the forecast. Not so much Tuesday morning, but then look what happens Tuesday afternoon. Look at this big area of rain through Georgia, back into Mississippi and Alabama. That heavier rain builds in here Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday nights, and maybe some rumbles of thunder and maybe a little bit of flash flooding. We'll have to see about that. Then that heavier rain departs early Wednesday. Then we could see another round of showers, maybe some storms later Wednesday on into Thursday. We'll be watching that, but it does look like a soaking rain as we go through time. Maybe an inch and a half, close to 2 inches in some of these favored upstate, upslope locations as well. So we'll have to watch out for the potential of some flash flooding as we go through time. For tonight, 44, mainly clear for the upstate, and for the mountains, you're looking at 39. Might want to cover those plants just in case, because Franklin, you get down to 35 at sunrise tomorrow morning with the sunshine. It's going to be cold as we're looking at 40s for the rest of the upstate. And we'll be warming nicely as we go through the day. By noon, 67 for the upstate, 72 by 4. Lots of sunshine and kind of cool into the mountains, 40 at 8, and then warming to 63. Much more on the big changes coming our way next week and that all-important 7-day forecast coming up during the Fox Carolina News at 10. Shale?
Bob, thank you. After Pickens County saw 2 tornadoes just weeks ago, we're going back to the neighborhood struck by an EF2. Photojournalist Danielle Gano has a look at the ongoing cleanup effort.
All of a sudden, I heard something in the distance. It kind of sounded like a train. And so what I did is I said, what was that? And then right after that, it started getting closer, and it was just like real, like shaky like. And I said, oh my gosh, it's a tornado.
And then we just felt the whole one side of the house lift up a few feet, and then it just gently put us back down on the ground.
Today, the community, my son-in-law had got a thing going for people to come over and help, and it has been a blessing because we've had a lot of people to come over and help through the neighborhood.
Yeah, so today what we have going on is a lot of it because there was no funding to help us out. Now, there was many organizations, the Red Cross, several others came out, helped people out, but there wasn't a lot of support from the county or the state, and there was absolutely zero federal support. So a lot of these people don't have the means to clean up the debris and the destruction left behind the tornado. So I decided to get together with several organizations, a few churches from this community, and have a community work day today. So we started at 9 a.m. We had several individuals who brought their own equipment out here to help us out. We had some companies provide dumpsters and porta-johns and everything that we could possibly need. And
People brought food from Pickens Westland, and I want to give them a shout out. We had a homeless shelter people come in and help. I give them a shout out. And all the other people, I don't even know their names, but I just want to give you a shout out, and I'm going to let you know God's going to bless you.
And so everybody's out here with chainsaws and work gloves, and we're just trying to get everything as close to back to normal as possible. I mean, it's going to take weeks or even months or even years to get everything back the way it used to be, but just something where we can all get together and spend some time together and have some food and try and at least get some bit of peace and normalcy brought back to this community.
I have a feeling step by step they will. It's definitely an all hands on effort there. Well, all new at 6 o'clock, we now know the name of the man, we now know the man who was shot and killed by deputies in Spartanburg County just last night. The coroner tells us Jimmy Whiteside was shot after deputies responded right here to his home and found him with a machete, not to mention a hammer. Spartanburg County deputies were called out to Strange Court after that man assaulted a woman with that machete. The woman's injuries were definitely evident by the time deputies arrived. The suspect, still armed with a machete in hand, would not follow orders. He refused to put down that weapon, so deputies say they had no other choice. SLED is now stepping in to investigate. Well, all new video shows the moment a 12-year-old school shooting suspect was taken into custody. Not long after he fired shots right inside of Tanglewood Middle School. This was captured on a Ring doorbell camera. We're blurring the suspect's face just because he's a minor, and his identity has not been released at this point. Here's a photo of the arrest. The suspect is charged with murder among other charges. He's now in the custody of the Department of Juvenile Justice there in Columbia. Now, Greenville County deputies say Jamari Jackson was killed in that shooting. He was also 12 years old. The coroner says he was shot directly in the chest, and his family is asking for privacy as they grieve. And we spoke with a woman who lives inside of that home the suspect went to after the shooting. Her name's Elaine Griffin, and she says she wasn't home when the shooting suspect rang her doorbell, but what she did do was answer it on her phone. Elaine ended up talking to him over that camera, and in the video, the boy nervously tells her there has been a school shooting and he needs to get in touch with his dad. Fox Carolina's Berkeley Cromer gives us that woman's story.
See, once he rang the doorbell, see, it alerts my phone. He just said, please, please, can I come in? Can I come in? He said, I don't have a gun. I got my hands up. He threw his book bag down to the side.
Outside Elaine Griffin's house, dozens of first responders and law enforcement officers looking for the 12-year-old who was hiding on her back deck.
He just started hollering that they were shooting at the school and that he was scared. He said, can you call my dad?
Griffin wasn't home but agreed to call his dad, unaware she had been talking to the shooting suspect for nearly an hour.
So I called his dad, And I told him, I asked him, did he have a son at Tanglewood Middle School? He said, yes. I said, well, he's on my back deck, and he's scared, and he said that there was a shooting, they having a shooting at the school, and he took off running.
A detective calling her phone a few minutes later.
I guess his dad had got in touch with the detectives. He said, well, ma'am, he said, listen, do not tell him that you talking to us. And I said, okay. So I said, I'm talking. I said, just sit right there. And I said, your dad is on the way.
With deputies closing in on her house, the suspect hid.
That was his footprint where he got up there and he jumped off right there. And then the next thing I know, I seen where the officers was bringing him off from around the house. They found him up under there, and they said that he told them that the gun was up under some wood that we had up under the deck.
Now, Griffin says she would have actually let him in had she been home. She knew he was clearly scared and believed what he was saying at the time. She had no idea that he was the suspect until the detective had called her. And for the latest on these stories and news anytime, be sure to download our free Fox Carolina News app. You can do so in the App Store or Google Play. All you have to do is search Fox Carolina. Again, we'll have much more when it comes to basketball and the latest news surrounding the upstate and the mountains tonight on the 10 o'clock news.